I mean, what an embarrassment that is last night. And here we go again. Old man yells at clouds. And I get that everybody loves, the analytics and the data behind it. And this says you should go for it. And everybody now, all these, the bing bongers on Twitter, go for it. Oh, this idiot coach. How could you go for kicking a field goal there? You got to you got to try to go for the touchdown. You're not going to win by kicking field goals. Nonsense. Play the game. And the Chargers and Brandon Staley, while they've been aggressive all year long, you know what? They don't have the Chargers right now are not going to win the AFC West. And maybe that's because they've been so inconsistent. Up and down all year long. Win some, lose some. And maybe that's because of their reckless style of play. I'm all for aggression in certain spots. The idea that the Chargers, I keep wanting to saying San Diego in my head, but obviously it's Los Angeles. The idea that the Chargers would leave points on the table like that is ridiculous, especially going into the half last night. And then maybe the time to be aggressive would have been at the end of the game after they score a touchdown and put them ahead. Why not go for two? And then force Kansas City, if they were to get a touchdown, then they have to go for two. Which is it? I'm tired of, and this is why I love Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They play the game the way it was supposed to be played. You get in field goal range, you kick a field goal. Certain situations where you have to go for it, fine, you go for it. Or you think the risk reward, all right, you know what? We're not, or kicker's not any good. We're not going to beat this team by kicking field goals. Let's go for it here. I mean, the Chiefs were okay kicking a couple of field goals, and then it added up. Then they went for two, and look what happened. They ended up tying the game because of it. They went in overtime. So why are we now, I call it the video game era, where everybody now, Joe Schmo sitting on his couch who plays Madden, always goes for it, because you never want to punt in Madden. I mean, it's Madden football. You don't want to punt. You don't want to kick field goals. You go for it. 4th and 25 from your own 15. What the hell? I'm going to go for it. It's a video game. What's the worst that could happen? I can reset it if I get, if I don't get it here. Well, this is real life. And Brandon Staley can talk about this is what we do. This is why we're aggressive. Yeah, and that's why you lose. Take the points. You left 9 points on the board. Even if you just had 3 of them, it'd be a different story. All right, you want to go for it early and set the tone. They stuffed you. You didn't learn from that the second time at the end of the half? And it's not just Staley and the Chargers, although the Chargers are going to charge. I mean, that's what they do. Doesn't matter if it's Norv Turner, if it's Anthony Lynn, if it's Brandon Staley. The Chargers are the same exact team. Justin Herbert, Phillip Rivers, they're the same exact team. They find ways to lose games that they should be winning. Year after year after year. It's the same it's almost the same blueprint for the Chargers. And they had a chance to win that game last night and really be in control in the AFC West. And they don't. Now, I'm not saying that is the specific reason why they lost. Obviously, the defense didn't do enough, and their defense is nowhere good enough. And all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes, for those of us who took Mahomes in your fantasy draft, you're probably not in the playoffs like me, and then he goes out there and puts up a monster game last night, of course. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Anyway, Mahomes going up against that Chargers defense, he lights it up. And Kansas City offense looks like Kansas City. But I don't know why. It's the same thing with all sports in today's day and age, where the data and the analytics are playing too big a part in some of these decisions. Watch Bill Belichick coach. Go back to that 28-3 Super Bowl and watch him take the points. Down 28-3 late third quarter, and he's still kicking field goals. Where people be like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, my God, you're down 28 points. You're down 25 points. What are you doing kicking field goals? Because you don't know how the game's going to play out. Take the points. Go then reset. Kick off. Go play defense. That's how football works. It's not one on a data sheet. Well, this sheet. And by the way, if you are going based off of this analytics, data sheet, whatever the numbers tell you to do, well, then what good is it having a head coach? Just throw a robot out there. Robot Joe on the sidelines today. I bet you'd be better at using timeouts, too, and clock management. Start hiring robots. The data says to go for it here. We will go for it. You sure you don't want to kick a field goal, Robot Joe? Data says to go for it here. Let's use a timeout. My sources tell me that was overturned. or will be overturned. I mean, come on, why not just have robots then? I could look at a sheet and say, well, all right, in this spot here, numbers say we got to go for it. Let's go for it. That's what we're going to do. Take the points. Take the pen. Take the points. Not every time, but take the points. It's gotten ridiculous in this video game era, and that was the one thing that stood out last night. And otherwise, look, it was an entertaining game between two great quarterbacks going back and forth. By the way, Giant fans, that's what a real quarterback looks like. Not Mahomes. We're talking about Justin Herbert. One you could have had, but, you chose Daniel Jones instead. That's what a real quarterback looks like. I know, it must be the offensive line. Not Justin Herbert himself. You evaluate him now, you look at the running back. Yeah, it's Austin Eckler. It's the receivers. It's the offensive line. Just watch Justin Herbert himself, and you tell me what you think of him in comparison to Daniel Jones. It's not even close. Now, I'm not saying Jones has to be at that level, but that's a quarterback you could have had. So stop making excuses with the offensive line. Speaking of the Giants, of course, getting set to take on the Cowboys at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And, we expect the story this week, no Daniel Jones again, and, COVID all over the place with the NFL. So who knows what these games, waiting tomorrow to see if that Browns game actually gets played or not. Seems like it's going to be on. I know the NFL is going to do all they can to not miss any games. But, at some point, you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to postpone a game or two. But with the Giants, dealing with the COVID stuff and trying to, cancel practice and move ahead and get this game underway without their starting quarterback and go out there as a 10.5-point underdog against the leader in the NFC East, one of the better teams in the NFC, the hated rival Dallas Cowboys. The one thing that I want to see from that game on Sunday is how many Cowboys fans are in the building. I want to close my eyes and put that game on at 1. And hear how many Dallas Cowboy fans are there, which should really send the message to ownership that this is not acceptable. That place filled with Dallas Cowboy fans, that'll send them, they'll get the message loud and clear. Believe me. And I would anticipate that being the case. From a Giants perspective, there's really nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Wait till Jones comes back. If not this year, then see what happens in the offseason. We're just delaying the inevitable. Logan Ryan, I talked to him early in the week saying, well, we're still not out of it yet. All right. Well, go out there and show us something then. Go out there and beat the Cowboys. I won't hold my breath. As for the Jets, they're down in Miami. And a part of me wants to say, remember last Friday, I opened talking about how I thought the Jets, this would be the start of something here. Not that they were going to go out there and run the table and, never look back. But I thought that last week we had an opportunity to see something with the Jets against a down New Orleans team, of course, prior to coming into MetLife Stadium. Against a down New Orleans team coming to MetLife Stadium, the Jets, they showed you some flashes the week prior against Philadelphia. I thought that was going to be a good sign maybe for this team and a good spot for them, specifically Wilson, to show you what he's capable of and give you hope. That's the word, hope. That's what we're looking for here. It's not about wins, not about the playoffs. It's about hope looking ahead to next year. And obviously that was not the case. They got embarrassed yet again by New Orleans. Now, a tougher task, not as far as taking on an offense, but going up against a better defense in Miami, down in Miami. A part of me still wants to say, I want to double down off of what I said last week. But I can't do it. The Jets have made me look foolish too many times. I know, I do a good enough job of that on my own. The Jets have made me look foolish too many times here. So I can't buy into them until I see it. But I'm hoping that at least you see, that spread 9.5 is a lot for that type of game where usually Miami, the Jets, they're playing a field goal game, close-knit, hard-fought game. It's not like Miami's been playing well, but it's not like they're that much. They're not a premier team at this point in the AFC. Now, the Jets aren't even close to that level, so I understand it to a certain extent, but still Tua and the Dolphins, and they're without, Waddle now, and they don't really have any running backs. So there's, some negatives with Miami as well. 9.5 is a lot of points. Could the Jets keep that game close? Could they be competitive? I hope so. And I'd like to see Wilson actually start completing some of these throws. Be nice to see the Jets running backs catch some of these balls. But I'd like to see Zach Wilson start completing some of these throws. That's what it's about again. Giants, get into the offseason. Jets, let's see what Zach Wilson could do in the final 4 games. And that's where we are in Week 15. Of course, you got the 2 Saturday games that just make my life hell because, the Christmas week, and it's actually my wife's birthday week, which throws another wrench into things. Anyway, you got the Browns, assuming they do get played, Patriots and Colts, which is a big game tomorrow night. A lot of big spreads, a lot of bad games on the board. Even some of the division rival games, not great matchups. Bucks and Saints. What do you expect there? A 10.5-point spread. Arizona taking on the Lions in Detroit. Bills at home against the Panthers. Eagles at home against Washington. Good division rival. 2 teams battling for the playoffs. A 9.5-point spread in that one for Philadelphia. So a lot of big, heavy favorites. Niners 9.5 over the Falcons, which means not many great games going in. Even some of the better games, Packers and Ravens, impacted potentially by injury. So Week 15, maybe not the greatest on paper, but we do have a lot to play for as far as the playoff spots go. 877-337-6666. Last night it got started, as we mentioned, with the Chiefs beating the Chargers in overtime. One of the better games on paper going in. It played out that way. If only the coaching were better. Richard calling from Manhattan. Richard?
Sal, last year, Ron Rivera, at the end of the game, instead of going for the 1 point to tie the game and then go into overtime, goes for a 2-point play. And all I heard on talk radio last year, Ron Rivera, riverboat gambler, he went for the 2. And, which I don't understand, not 2. I mean, it's 50-50 whether you go into overtime or not. Now, earlier this year, the Jets were playing Tennessee. They have Derrick Henry. They get to they score a touchdown. They're down by 1. There were 20 seconds left in the game. You give the ball to Derrick Henry on a 2-point play. When you factor in that you got to kick a 30-yard point after, plus going into overtime is 50-50, plus Tennessee is playing at the Jet Stadium, your odds are better giving the ball to Derrick Henry. Oh, no, you can't do that. You got to go into overtime. Okay. If that's riverboat gambling, and that's all I heard last year was Ron Rivera, the guy, 60 years I watched football. I never saw what that coach of the L.A. Chargers did last night. Never saw.
I just don't understand it. It was like he didn't have a kicker on the roster. It didn't make any sense. I could understand it once. I could understand it late in the game. I could understand if you're frustrated.
I agree with what he did. I like it. I like the change.
Oh, no, that's horrible. It's horrible,
Richard.
Richard.
He got 1 touchdown out of it, right? I think it was 1 out of 4.
After they missed the first 3, they left 9 points on the board.
It was exciting.
Hey, 2 field goals equal 1 touchdown. And these guys don't understand that.
His team, though. If the guy knows his team, he knows his
Well, how does he know his team? They kept getting denied. What are you talking about? They kept getting denied.
Well, that's because they were making great plays at Kansas City. But it was fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
Well, yes, it was fun to watch. I'd rather see them take the points, and thanks for the call, Richard. Yeah, after Kansas City stuffs you the first time, you don't think that's a good instinct to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll take the points this go around. Let's take the 3 and move on. Had Andy Reid had that same philosophy and not kicked field goals, then maybe the Chiefs wouldn't have tied the game. Remember, 2 field goals plus a 2-point conversion, that helped them make up for a touchdown. Take the points if they're there. Not that it's guaranteed and not that it's every time, but that is reckless coaching in that game last night. And it cost them. And it was easy to see first call, especially the one going in the half. You want to try to set the tone early on and say you're going to go for it. That is a reckless approach. Gives the defense life, gives them momentum with Kansas City playing as well that they did on those 4th downs. I mean, what are you just going to go for it all the time? And then why punt? Why bother? As I was saying to start the show, why have a kicker on your roster? It's a waste of a spot. Just go for 2 all the time. I would have an easier time with coaches going for 2 more so than I would not taking field goals. The field goals add up. Now, the extra points do too, but obviously you're talking about 1 point. The difference there is 1 point. The difference with the field goal is 3. You do the math. Maybe I should have paid more attention in sequential math and algebra. But field goals, they make a difference. Watch Belichick. You know what I thought of last night? Watching that game? Not, oh, wow, how impressive is Justin Herbert? And not, oh, wow, Mahomes looks back and Kansas City's going to be difficult. My first thought was, New England is going to the Super Bowl. Nobody in the AFC is going to beat them because they have enough talent and they have the best head coach in the world. He's running circles around these other clowns. He'll kick field goals and let you beat yourself, which you will do eventually. And they'll win the games. That's why they were competitive even in the, against the more talented teams when the Pats weren't as playing as well as they are now. Against Dallas or against Tampa Bay, you look at the talent on those rosters, shouldn't compare to New England. And yet, how come they're in these games, almost winning them, losing close one-score games? Because of the way Belichick coaches and goes about the game. Kicking field goals, punting, playing defense, field position. That's how football should be played. Oh, the data says that the percentage is here. Yeah, that's great. Each game is separate. Each play is separate. Each team is separate. The idea of just bypassing field goals left and right, they left 9 points on the board. At least 6. 6 points, that's a big deal. Then you get a touchdown, you go for 2, you can make that a touchdown. That's worth the risk more so than just passing up field goals. Anyway, Week 15 of the NFL underway. Like we said, Jets and Giants on Sunday, 1 o'clock. Dolphins and Jets in Miami. Cowboys and Giants at MetLife, where we expect it to be a large contingent of Cowboy fans. We'll get into the Knicks a little bit. Oh, and today's the day. Today's the day that Buck gets interviewed. The great divide within the Mets hierarchy. We'll get into that as well.